ba go bona matlhong, never see them go mabitleng, lo mafela dijong ba tshwana ba rata o kenya menwana dilong. Don't worry ntho tse ba di etsa ka bomo no ditlong ke malong. Suckers ba go bona matlhong, never see them go mabitleng, ba blow mafela dijong ba tshwana ba rata o kenya menwana dilong. And don't worry ntho tse ba di etsa ka bomo no ditlong ke malong.
This is merch. Your rappers would call this merch.
What this really means is that if I have 1,000 black farmers producing for me, then I don't have to do this anymore. Then they can just supply me. All I need to do is this. Because what I'm selling is a brand, not food. Yes.
You were saying earlier on, and I'd like to touch on this subject now because we're dealing with the finished product.
Yeah.
How lucrative is it? I remember you made a statistic about once every 10 years you see a profit.
Yeah, it's not as easy as that. For instance, farming has to be the most profitable business in the world because you're
feeding the world.
Yes, you actually have a market of 7 billion people every day eating 3 meals a day. Yeah. So it's all about where in which part of the value chain you are. That means you must make money. For instance, if you are planting maize and you are just selling it off to NWK or Sandvest, which are the big corporations, then you probably will not make so much money. But if you were to build your own mill and mill that maize into pap and put it into a momulimi pap, then I'll make money.
I got you.
It's just in how you work in it.
I got you.
Yeah. So basically, you really have to have a better knowledge of how it works. It's not as easy as just working the land and making money.
I get you.
Yes.
You must be involved in every step of it being
of the value chain.
The shop. Yeah.
Yes.
I get you.
Yeah.
And is there a close network of I wouldn't say black farmers. More importantly for me, it's young black farmers.
Yeah.
Is there a close network with you guys, or is it really like starting off now?
Look, it's been starting off for as long as I've been farming, but it has not really yielded any results. We have not really able to build like a super cooperative of, black young farmers working together. And I think just the nature of cooperatives, we have not mastered it as black business people.
Sure.
You see how like Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi tuck shop cooperatives are muscling us out of the villages and the townships. Yeah, we have not really developed. And people say it's because of our personality, we don't like each other. But the reality is that apartheid denied our people the opportunity to do business for close to 100 years. We've actually missed out 2-3 generations.
Can you learn in 100 years?
Exactly, So we still have to learn to do business.
I think everybody has this notion that the moment you just get land, it means you're rich. You're gonna make money. You're gonna start seeing your wealth. No one ever thinks about the work and the natural dependency of weather and all that stuff. But I remember you talking about the financial risks that you take and sometimes the losses that you encounter.
Yes.
So, like in a lifespan of a year, can you start seeing profits as a farmer? Like, how long does it take for you to start seeing that, oh no, I'm doing the right thing here?
I think to answer your question, commercial agriculture in developed countries like in Europe and America, maybe in Australia and so on, is heavily subsidized. Almost 50% or even more of what their input is subsidized by government, meaning it's a grant. Simply because of the nature of the business. Strictly from your pocket, it's impossible to make money. You find that it's very difficult to make a profit from year in, year out. Like I was explaining to you with the sunflower, last year there was a drought. By January when I started planting my sunflower, the prices were over 6,000 rands a ton. It's hardly a month later. It's around about 4,200.
So even if you have a good crop, even if you sell them right now, you've made a loss.
Yes, I've already made a loss. At this point. And you must remember, I still need to harvest. I'm going to pay the harvester who's going to cut. I must transport. Where you guys were in Sunnyside, that side. I must transport the grain all the way there to it's diesel and all that, and I still pay my labor. And
that's why slavery was such a big thing, because there's no way these families and these people could have had money
Made now.
without having this cheap
free
labor.
labor. Yes.
No ways.
Even apartheid.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
Cheap labor.
In terms of subsidizing,
Yes.
You should know more about this, especially
Yes.
for our country and our terrain.
Yeah.
Does the government do much to subsidize?
Yeah. Look, the issue of
Is there a
land.
subsidizing plan,
Look,
program?
the government is already doing a lot for developing farmers. You know, the ANC government already has bought a lot of land that it has transferred to black farmers, and over and above moving black farmers on the land, it has to capitalize them, give them the equipment, the money, and the skills to work, which is actually worth way more than the land itself. And sometimes just the project management of it goes wrong, and then the whole land distribution thing fails. But it's an expensive exercise. This is why actually the government is not so keen on just moving in and taking land, because it is already land that it is not a simple business. It is already struggling with what it's doing.
Do you feel like maybe people sometimes might have the wrong compass in wanting land to make a profit?
Yeah.
Because if you look back in the day and why we had land and why we owned it and how we used it, it
Yeah.
wasn't really to monetize it and become
Commercial.
a business venture.
Yeah.
It was because just have your piece of land,
Yeah.
plant whatever you need to plant, and
Yeah.
whatever you eat,
Yeah.
graze your cattle,
Yeah.
and it will be sufficient for you and your family. Do you think maybe instead of thinking enterprise
Yeah.
and market share,
Yeah.
maybe we should be thinking sustaining firstly your family and
Yeah.
yourself, and that's how you learn how to work land?
You see, we'll have to go back to the notion of, firstly, who taught black people how to plant a lawn and flowers? How do we do those things? You know, those little places where we live in our townhouses, in our township yards, why did we stop planting food? You know, when I traveled there in Malawi and everywhere people plant food. When you step out the house, it's food. Why did we stop doing that? You know, so that consciousness actually, it begins there. You know, you can actually plant food right on top of your roof. Put tires there, put soil on them, and produce food. Yes. So if we are not doing that already in where we are staying, why are we going to do it in 1,000 hectare land? You know.
The basic thing is stop thinking money and start thinking sustainability for yourself.
Yeah.
Like motherfuckers mustn't want to plant because they want to be on the cover of Time magazine.
Yes.
They must plant because they want to feed.
Yeah, I mean, because food security, it's at the paramount most important thing in the world. If we don't have food, like, forget about technology and anything else. You know what I mean?
Sure, that's for real.
Yes. Making sure that people have a plate of food. I was just watching on Al Jazeera a day or two ago, and they were saying there's actually about 20 million people who are actually food insecure right now. In Yemen, in Somalia, in South Sudan, and northern Kenya where there's a drought, I think in Chad. And mainly these areas where there's conflict, like northeast Nigeria and so on. You know, we're talking about 20 million people who might just drop dead tomorrow. You know,
you must try to supply them.
Do you see what I'm saying? You know, so we're always getting these random orders, like they want 20,000 tons of maize in Sudan. I don't know who supplies these things, because they don't get to us. Look, people don't understand when we say apartheid is still very much alive. They think we just are trying to being sentimental and sensationalizing this whole thing and making excuses for the ANC government. Apartheid, from an economic point of view, is very much alive. We, as the black people in this country, we are in control of nothing at all. You know, if they were to say we want 20 million tons of beans in northern Nigeria tomorrow, which black people are going to supply it?
Nobody.
No one. Their whole business is still going to white people. If in end of January at the opening of Parliament, I don't know, we remember just the fight, people beating each other up. But actually the president said something like China will be buying 20 million tons of beef from South Africa for the next 10 years. Actually, 20 million tons of beef.
So someone's just counting that paper.
Yeah, who's going to be supplying that beef? Is it us?
No.
No, we don't have that beef. You see? So goes hand in hand with the land.
Thank you so much.
Careful, that salsa is very hot.
Okay, cool.
We need more education. We need to be better prepared for the future. We need to make sure that even if we're struggling today, we're in a better place tomorrow. You know.
Father must be so proud.
We struggle together. We've been struggling together for forever, and that's what farming families do. You know. Yeah. I think
But
maybe soccer
never
families
mind the
do that.
struggle. Just in terms of having your son,
Yeah.
who was into a Western sort of
Yes.
culture and
Yes.
music,
Yes.
and then having him do a full 360
Yes.
or 180,
Yes.
and coming back to his roots, literally and figuratively.
Yes.
He must be. Do you guys talk about it? Like, what does he say to you?
Yeah, you know, you can imagine how it was in my earlier years when you're like, dude, are you confused? Like, what are you
Is it
doing?
rapping?
Are you
Yeah.
rapping or are you farming? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? I was like, no, Pops, like, just wait. It don't make sense, you know? And until one day when he picked us up, I was like, you see what we were doing here? We're actually doing something that I consider to be a competitive edge over everybody who's farming around here.
True.
We have a
Did he
brand.
name you Momolemi?
No, I did.
Yes, just
Yeah,
gave
you know.
yourself a name.
No, you know what? When I was still part of Marafi, I was just Mr. Mo. So, and you know, Marafi, of course, released the album, and I was working on the farms here. You know, so Jabba really came around here often every 2 months. Dude, you need to release this album. I was like, okay, I'll do it. So when I went to go back, like, who am I gonna call myself?
You know, food is dope when it's cold.
The cold food.
It's still dope. But it's still the one. Nah, man, that's amazing. There you have it, Banbagoti, from the mouth of the Bakang farm leader, Momolemi. I mean, he told you how important it is for us to not only get the land, but be educated in how to work the land. And not only that, we might get the vegetation from the land, but we need to be involved in every step of this vegetation getting out there as a finished product. Government, we need your grants, we need your help. And for you people, I don't think you should consider farming as a lucrative money-making scheme. Just consider farming as a point where you can just feed your family. That's all you gotta do. It's not only to be commercially viable, it's just to be sustainable as a people, as a family, as a unit. So thank you so much for everything, Palladium. We're starting from the bottom up and we're going out there to you via Slicker on Life. The person who's your audio chaperone is, of course, Usiabawang Wegazi. You know me as Scoop Makatini. Dimgil. See you again next time.
What's up, Antoana? We out to get our own. And the Baleba banking, just Kawara Gabona Charlie. It's our Dimanyo, Guskawara, I'm phoning outside. All right.